Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. So, we're on a 60 win streak, and only have 2 characters remaining before we've beaten every character in a row, with random weapons without losing. So, let's see if we can get this one. And we've got Hiker and Romantic remaining, so we're jumping in with Hiker. Hiker, I think, is actually deceptively difficult as a character for random weapons, because if you aren't building something like Jousting Lance or Loot or Thief Dagger that improve your economy, Hiker is very far behind in economy compared to other characters. Minus 50% materials dropped is a pretty big penalty, and unless you're boosting your movement speed, the bonus money that you get from Hiker does not make up for that penalty. So let's see what we can get here, and we'll try to make it work. All right, well, we've got Hiking Pole. This, I actually think, is not a great weapon for the Hiker, because it's pretty slow to get off the ground. But once you do get it off the ground, it's pretty nice. So we're going to go with it. Obviously, I need to be moving right away in order to both increase the range of my Hiking Poles for the bonus damage and get money and HP for the Hiker. Normally, of course, you would hold still to kill that tree more efficiently. I like how none of those 4 enemies dropped a single material. Normally, you'd hold still to kill that tree more efficiently, but you can't do that with the Hiker, because if you stop moving, you stop getting money. You can see here we got dumped immediately out because we didn't get a level up, because the Hiker's bonus money does not include experience, so that's part of what makes this character's economy worse, is that you don't get XP from the money you get from running around with the Hiker. We'll obviously take another Hiking Pole as a support weapon, so we really want to get that online. Gummy Berserker is kind of interesting. It is 25 range, and the Hiking Pole scales with range, and attack speed is actually very good for this weapon as well, because it's a very, very slow attacking weapon, so you really need to boost its attack speed. Does that make it worth losing 1 armor? Maybe later, but I think for now I would like to keep this slot open for more efficient items. And then we're gonna reroll and reroll again. Still looking for more Hiking Poles. I'll lock this one. That loot, what could have had a much more fun weapon. I'm gonna roll again and buy another Hiking Pole. And Weird Ghost, we will tend to get HP from the Hiker's passive rather than actually buying it, so we're just going to pass on the Weird Ghost here. Again, I want to leave these slots open for efficient economy items. Since this character struggles so much with economy, you really need to get that online early. Now, unfortunately, we didn't find any despite a lot of re-rolling, but we have a lot of time. Got our first level up. With the Hiker, of course, the most important thing is to boost your movement speed, because then your passive starts actually working. Here, I am just going to take 3 movement speed. I could buy Harvesting, but we'll get to 21 Harvesting with the support weapon tag anyways. So we're just going to buy move speed to make our passive work better. And then I could take Armor or Attack Speed. I'm going to reroll, though. I would take move speed over the Harvesting, but I'll also just take Harvesting. That's fine. We will definitely buy the Hiking Pole and Lock, Scar, and Coupon. These are the efficient economy items we were looking for. And then, nice, got the full support weapon tag on Wave 2. That's awesome, and we definitely want to start upgrading these Hiking Poles as soon as possible, so locking that other one is great. Even this 3% movement speed is really good. The Hiker gets, of course, additional money and HP as you perform a certain number of steps, a step being 1 walk cycle animation, so you can, it's not defined anywhere in text, but it's just 1 time where your character moves their legs, so you can actually see how many you're doing. And a bunch of stats there, which is great. We are a very late game oriented build here, because the Hiking Pole needs to have gotten a lot of bonus range before it starts coming online. I could just take 15 range to boost its damage as well, but I think I'm going to reroll here. I'm looking for move speed, harvesting. Probably I would take, yeah, do I want melee damage? So this is a 50% scaling weapon with melee damage, or 10% with range. So we could get +2 damage from the level 2 melee upgrade. But a level 1 range upgrade would have been 1.5 damage. So I think what we're going to do, rather than buy any melee damage, is just scale our damage with range. And here I'll just take the 5% damage. It's not what we would have preferred to take, but any percent damage is pretty good because we're going to have high base damage on our weapons as well. Take the coupon and then buy all of these items, and the scaling on the range goes up slightly, but more importantly, the amount of range you get for running around goes up as you level your hiking poles, so very important to do that. Amazing shop for us. I'm going to take the Terrified Onion before the coffee. I don't think we really need the move speed, and the attack speed this wave, and additional move speed is super helpful. And then we're going to roll again. I'm still looking for more hiking poles, but I missed, but Beanie and Peaceful Bee are both great items. Getting to positive move speed is a big deal for this character, because you can just run around and gain additional money much faster. So I've said that I don't think the hiking pole is actually a great weapon for the hiker, weirdly enough, because the hiker just wants to boost movement speed and wants stuff that makes you strong early. Your passive will eventually give you a lot of money, so you just want weapons that help boost your economy or give you early damage, rather than weapons that need to wait a long time to come online. So Jousting Lance, I think, is the best by a pretty fair margin, but Loot is also very good. Thief Dagger is not bad because it can give you bonus income that isn't reliant on your passive, so any of those would have been stronger. But Hiking Pole obviously isn't a terrible weapon for this character. Do I just want attack speed? I think we can do better. I'm going to reroll here, and I'll take 15 range, just increase the base damage of our weapons a bit, and then armor or regen? I think just the armor. Losing 6 range, of course, so I've bought a couple items that reduce range, like Scar and Beanie, is still fine. Increasing our movement speed is more important, and yes, we lose a tiny amount of damage on our weapons by buying something like Beanie, but it's so much more important that we boost our movement speed, so we're actually making money. Feather I could buy because we do have 4% dodge, so we could start building dodge, but I think I'd rather focus on more critical defensive stats earlier. Definitely leveling the hiking pole, but I will at this point buy Gummy Berserker, and we'll take Weird Food as well. Throw in one reroll to see if I can lock another pole. Definitely want to kill the buffing aliens there. Attack speed is so good for this character, and range, of course, increases our base damage, so the Gummy Berserker feels pretty good to buy, I think. You can see we're starting to struggle a little bit with wave clear, though, because this is such a slow attacking weapon. The Hiker also is one of the characters where you don't, just like the Speedy, where you don't want to directly reverse direction. So you want to, when you're changing between two directions, rather than going straight right to left, you want to rotate through moving up or down first, because, at least if you're on keys, keyboard and mouse, rather than on an analog controller, because the game interprets swapping direction as stopping moving, very briefly. It's extremely minor, but it does cost you money when you're playing the Hiker. Here, I'm gonna just take the 5 luck. I do hate being at negative luck, so I want to fix that, and then we'll take Lumberjack Shirt, Weird Food, and Gummy Berserker, and then roll again. Weird Ghost, I think we can still pass on, but I'll buy the hiking pole. I'm gonna take the Whistle. Do I want Coil? We have no knockback. Knockback isn't that exciting for this weapon, so I think I'm gonna pass on the Coil. It's 104 for 5% damage, which just isn't that exciting, and I don't really intend to build a lot of knockback. I will buy both of these, and then again, this is our last shop where we have a guaranteed weapon in it, so I'm gonna roll one more time, because if I get these hiking poles leveled up, it is really good for the character. One of the best uses for hiking pole, by the way, especially if you get a cursed one, is to swap later on into sniper gun, or even just crossbow, one of the weapons that scales off of range. But of course, with a random weapon challenge, we're not allowed to do that. It can be very useful for a character that loses range, like the creature. Has a much lower range, so one hiking pole, even if it doesn't do much damage, can offset your range loss entirely if you're playing creature, or like if you're playing GMO for triple creature. that was a suggestion from the comments, which I think is actually very good. Again, just have to keep moving here. Pocket Factory I'll take. We already have a Lumberjack shirt. This character does struggle with Wave Clear, so that can help out a ton. We'll take some regen, because I definitely need to boost my regeneration. Take the Whistle and Propeller Hat, and then roll. Grab another Scar. These Scars are both good and bad for this character. We get way less XP than other characters do, because we're only getting 50% material drops from enemies. So the Scars applying to fewer experience points, but that makes it also more important because normally we don't get any levels, and levels are typically a really huge part of your, especially your defensive setup, but just your general setup when playing Brotato. So buying these Scars can still be very helpful. In a roll here, we'll take a Hiking Pole and a Terrified Onion, and one more reroll, lock a Hiking Pole. Definitely gonna take the Incendiary Turret, because I think that can help with Wave Clear and the Penguin. Do I want the medical turret as well? I think we don't need medical turret. I don't need healing yet, and the requirement to move constantly makes it a lot harder to actually make use of the medical turret, because we'll be having to move away from it some of the time. So I think this character doesn't really want a medical turret. Having any regeneration is really nice for this character, because of course, it's hard not to take damage, especially because we can't stop moving. It actually reduces our ability to dodge significantly, and that'll be pretty important against the elite later on as well. Typically, especially on Abyssal Terrors, a lot of elites require you to hold still to efficiently dodge their attacks, and this character can't do that. The support weapon tag and the early harvesting that we got has helped keep this build possible. We're making 250 on Wave 7, which isn't awful for Abyssal Terrors, but you can see we're already starting to fall behind in economy. I'm going to take the regen, because I want that, and then I don't mind 3 speed or 5 attack speed. I think we can get a level 2 upgrade, though. And do I want percent damage or regeneration? I think I'm just going to keep taking regeneration. Take the Incendiary Turret, Hiking Pole, and Penguin. Pencil's a little more interesting because I have the turret and Pocket Factory already, but I think still not worth buying. But Compass is actually great because it gives us move speed, and the engineering does help with our constructs. And a lock Terrified Onion as well. You should buy every piece of move speed that you see on this character, and then great, leveling our Hiking Poles is really important, so very happy to see more of those. I've also passed a couple pumpkins, which of course work with the Pocket Factory, but we have no source of piercing. Work with the Pocket Factory if we get piercing shots, but we have no source of piercing, so, and Pocket Factory is not a core part of our strategy, so investing in making it better potentially in the future is just not something that I think is worth doing. This is probably the most common type of comment that I get, with people asking why I did something or suggesting that I made an incorrect play, is people saying that I should have bought a speculative item that will not come online for many, many waves. And usually I think, if it ever does, and usually I think that's a mistake. Also, I went down to like 1 HP there, which was not good. Usually I think that's a mistake because investing a lot of money in something that doesn't make you stronger or help your economy or anything like that, and relies on finding another specific item, it may never pay off. And even if it does, it won't be for a long time. So you've lost a lot of money. That money snowballs into losing more economy, more money, taking more damage, and so on. Here I'm gonna just take more regen, I think. And then we'll grab a Hiking Pole and another Hiking Pole and a Terrified Onion. Roll again. Clockwork Wasp, also really good with our structures, but let's go ahead and level our Hiking Poles. So you can see we get even more scaling from range here. The attack speed on these also goes up pretty significantly as you level it, so that's not bad. Lost Duck and Duct Tape or Clockwork Wasp first. I guess the luck is pretty good economy, but I think just the move speed is still more important for this character. Normally, when you have a choice between buying one item or two items, and they're sort of almost equally valuable, you should just buy the two items, because then you see more rerolls in the next wave. But for this character, the move speed, I think, is actually better. You can see we're having a lot of trouble not taking hits, and that's because Hiking Pole is a very slow attacking, very long-ranged weapon. This is actually kind of a secret downside of range on melee weapons, is that sometimes they'll attack enemies that are not the closest enemy, if you have enough range on them, and then enemies that are close to you can start attacking you. So when our hiking poles are out on the field, and not in close to our character defending us, it actually means that we take a little bit more damage on the whole. It's a little counterintuitive how that works, but and of course, that's a very minor effect. That's not something that you should really worry about, but it is true that range can counterintuitively increase the damage that you take from melee enemies in some circumstances. You can see here that we are falling pretty far behind in terms of our income. Not terribly, but normally on wave 9 you want to make about 450 on Abyssal Terrors, and we're 50 behind, and that's with pretty heavy investment into economy on this character. I'll take small magazine here. Attack speed is way more important than percent damage for us, so we're actually very happy to get that 10%, and then we'll take the plant. Here I'm going to reroll, and I'll just take 30 range. It does increase the base damage of our weapons, so we're still going to pick that up. We'll take Lost Duck and Duct Tape, and then roll. A leather vest is an excellent find. Keep leveling our hiking poles. Roll again. Scarf gives us move speed, so we definitely want that, and we'll take Propeller Hat as well. And then with two items locked, I don't think we need to reroll for 15. I definitely want more max HP before I fight the elite. I did pass a couple points of max HP. Usually, you would find a little more move speed than we have, and would have gained a little more max health from the hiker's passive. So we'll probably have to invest in an HP level up or something before we fight this elite, because fighting an elite at 30 HP is pretty risky. Got the percent dodge there, which is pretty nice. Run over here and make sure we're picking up these consumables. The incendiary turret definitely paying for itself, even though killing enemies is less valuable for this character than for other characters. It does help us do that. I'm going to try to manually target down the loot alien. Nice, I got it. But again, you can see we are struggling to kill, to make enough money. We made 420 this wave, when normally on wave 10, you want to make about 500. Yeah, we'll take some more move speed here, and then I'm going to reroll this. I'm looking for max HP or armor. Roll again. I probably have to take 12% damage, though. It's just too much damage when our percent damage is really negative. I'm not going to take the scarf this wave, so I'll buy the bag and propeller hat, because increasing the elite's movement speed, obviously, is too dangerous. We'll take Clockwork Wasp. I'll roll here. I'll take the jerky. That's a lot of healing, so that should help out. Cyberball could be a way to kill enemies that doesn't involve our hiking poles, but our hiking poles actually are starting to do decent damage, so I think I'm just going to roll past that. We will lock this one. I'll take the diploma as well, and then go to wave 11. Just going to have to run away from the elite. So the first half of this elite is going to be pretty tough, because it puts a lot of projectiles on the field that we have to dodge around. But the second stage, it just starts firing projectiles directly at us, and we have the move speed to avoid that. So as long as I make it through the first 30 seconds against this elite, I think we should be okay. This cursed goblin shark is definitely not helpful, though. Yeah, there was a loot alien. I was trying to see if I saw a loot alien up there. Oh, there were two. I don't think we're going to kill either of them. It's just too difficult to dodge the elites, but I'll try to manually target one down. Trying to get some kills and stay alive. Can we get the second one? the range actually was very helpful there for getting the second loot alien kill. So I got both and survived. That is pretty awesome, actually. Snake is kind of interesting because we have the incendiary turret. So I could buy the snake. -1 HP, pretty painful, but I think it is worth it. We have no crit chance right now, but for 30, I think we can try the hunting trophy. If we do find a little bit more in the way of crit chance, then it will be a way that we can make money on this character, which is very important. Ball and chain, is there any chance that our attack speed goes below 0.75? Probably not. So I think this character does want the ball and chain, but I'm gonna buy all of these other items first. Then I'll take a fertilizer, and missile does cost me attack speed. Percent damage is something we do want as well, though. Take a turret also. That can help get our pocket factory chain going. And I do have a 16 engineering, so I think the turret's fine. I'm still debating the missile, because attack speed's really helpful, but we are going to cap our attack speed with the ball and chain. I think I'm going to pass on the missile. 100 for 10% damage is just not a great ratio. So other than that one wave where I went down to 1 HP, things have been going fairly smoothly this run. Being able to make it out of that elite wave, even with only 30 max HP, was huge, because now that we've done that, we will start getting just a lot of free stats from our weapons and everything. From our weapons and just being the hiker. I do have to be really careful here, though. I had to go pick up those 2 consumables because I took a bunch of hits, and I do have the increased move speed enemies this wave. So letting the blobfish spawn all the lampreys is pretty dangerous because we have the scarf, so you can get yourself in trouble if you are not careful. Luckily, we're very fast, so when enemies show up, we can usually get away from them. One other advantage that we have is now we've made it out of the first half of the waves, our economy stops being as far behind other characters as it is in the first half of the game. Because waves like 11 through 16 on Abyssal Terrors you get almost no money on, without harvesting, your sort of typical return on those waves is like 250 materials. This character with this character's 50% material drop penalty is significantly less impactful on those waves, and the bonus money that we get, especially because we've improved our movement speed, is much more impactful. Take the attack speed here. Well, I could have taken crit chance because I do have the hunting trophy. But I'm going to reroll here, and then I think just take 9% speed. Grab all of these items. There's a pretty excellent shop for us, and then reroll. We'll upgrade our hiking pole, take a medal. This hunting trophy, I've been buying a bunch of hunting trophies that have not paid off, but I think this one probably won't either, because I'm definitely buying medal, and we'll just accept that the 30 that I spent on the hunting trophy was not worth it. Just have more important priorities for this run. I think it's still correct to buy hunting trophy there because you might find like a sunglasses or something in the next shop, and then suddenly the hunting trophy is really good. But the shops and level ups didn't end up working out that way. But I wouldn't have bought the hunting trophy at full health from the shop, only because it only costs 30 from a box. Did we speculate on it? Oh, can we get this loot alien kill? Our damage is really quite good, because we've made it out of the sort of difficult beginning of the game. I'm going to take the scared sausage here. This is just in case we get ice cube, then it can increase damage to enemies. Or I guess Greek fire later on. Tree works really well with our pocket factory. Oh nice, a free pearl, and that could potentially turn into more free pearls. I'm going to take 12% damage because our percent damage is very low, but our base damage is actually quite high, so percent damage is very impactful for us. And similarly, we're going to grab the Vigilante Ring, take the Medal and the Hiking Pole, and then do a reroll. I have 8 armor. My attack speed is still not high enough, but my HP... The hikers... normally I would have like 100% speed by now, so we'd have gotten a lot more HP from the hiker. So I'm kind of tempted by the stone skin, but I think we'll be fine. You don't really need more than about 60 max HP on Abyssal Terrors, because their enemies just hit so hard, it's very difficult to survive on max HP alone, so I tend to prefer to focus on armor and regeneration on this map. And we'll definitely get there on that much max HP. You can see our range, and having really long range and really low attack speed is actually making it harder to clear the wave, because our weapons are constantly not ready to fire. And when they do, they're not always hitting things that are near us. But the fact that we have decent regeneration and jerky, double penguin as well, which also combines well with the jerky, so when we pick up a fruit when we're at full health, we get regen from the penguin, and then if we take a hit, we still have the healing from the jerky as well. So those two items synergize very well. Toxic Sludge, I'm still not going to take elemental damage, even though we have the Scared Sausage. I just don't think it's worth trying to build into that specifically. I'll take the Luck here, because we do have a lot of consumable healing, and we also have a Pearl, so the Luck isn't awful. Yeah, the poor hunting trophy, we just keep abandoning these guys, but obviously I have to take the medal. I'm going to take Laser Turret as well. With 16 engineering, that's still a pretty decent addition to our wave clear. Cute Monkey, we get half the value that a normal character would from the Cute Monkey here, so I think we're going to pass on it, although that's a little closer than it might look. I'll take the turret and then roll again, and Leather Vest is perfect. We could actually build Dodge now. I'm going to take Schmoop also. I don't care about losing melee damage. A little more max HP would be fine, but mostly we're just in it for the regen here. A very expensive regeneration, but it does come with max HP as well. The engineering sub-theme here I think is working out pretty well, because we got a couple really efficient engineering items. And one of them was the diploma, which is also just a bunch of XP gain, so we would have bought that even if we didn't have the engineering. So that's, I think, actually been very helpful for this character, because it's the turrets are really doing work for keeping the wave clear for us. I shouldn't have killed that blobfish probably while the lampreys from the other one were still around. But I think our damage is high enough at this point that that's relatively safe. Also, you can see the difference between Pocket Factory when you have one tree and when you have no trees. We've got like 10 turrets from the Pocket Factory this wave because we have a tree, whereas before we were getting like 2. I will take the Wisdom. A lot of our early damage is from engineering anyways, so we'll pick this up, and then I'll take 4 regen. I don't need more harvesting at this point. Lure, of course, is going to be great. We'll take Schmoop, we'll take Leather Vest. All of those together gave us a ton of defensive stats, which are awesome. Pearl and Blindfold. I think what we're going to do here is take the Pearl. I will lock the Blindfold. Even at the cost of -8 range, I'm still going to take Hit Injury, and then we're going to roll, and we'll lock a Coffee. Actually, I'll take Landmines as well, where we've got the engineering thing going on. I'm taking the Pearl just because a 6% chance of getting pearls in a box makes it significantly more likely. I mean, twice as likely. And I don't think we need the Blindfold for this wave, so might as well buy the item that has a chance of giving us free value. And while Pearl isn't great for us right now, it's still pretty good because percent damage is one of the stats that we need. So even though we're buying it at a pretty bad ratio, it's still very helpful for this character. Also, we have a lure, so we're guaranteed to get at least 2 boxes, assuming that I kill the loot aliens. So the pearl has a couple chances to actually work. Got a bunch of curse there as well. 3 boxes. Let's see if we can get a pearl. I guess I'll take 1 base damage on all my weapons, and we'll take the beanie, of course. Claw tree. I have minus 11 crit chance, so I think I'm gonna recycle the claw tree, losing an HP for half a damage. No, I guess I'll take it. One melee damage is not that exciting, but losing an HP doesn't really matter now that we've got 60 and we're going to keep getting more. Cog is kind of interesting. I'm kind of regretting also passing the coil, because we ended up with a lot of knockback. I think I will take the cog. Losing 4% damage is bad, of course, but the our engineering sub-theme, I think, is still worth investing in. And then we'll take all these items. 3 armor, that's exactly what we want, so we're going to pick that up for sure. And then we are buying out this entire shop. A reroll. Ooh, a cursed tree. That's great. Coupon should pay for itself, so I'm going to buy it here. We'll buy the cursed tree. I guess I can get to positive crit chance because I bought the blindfold, and the claw tree, so I'll take the insanity as well. We'll lock the hiking pole, of course. Lock this cursed item, and lock the blindfold. I don't think we want toolbox. Attack speed is still so good for this character that we shouldn't reduce it. So I think we might be able to kill this elite. We're effectively a ranged build at this point, so we can kind of kite around it. But I don't know that I really want to put myself in a lot of danger trying. We do have wisdom, which makes it more likely as well, because now that we're 20 seconds into the wave, our damage is increased instead of decreased. So I think we could kill it, but the danger of doing that, I think, is just too high. Trying to stay near this elite. This is also one of the more dangerous elites in Abyssal Terrors. So trying to stay near this elite to kill it just does not seem worth doing to me. And one of the things about playing the Hiker is that killing the elite, because you need to dodge it but stand near it, often requires standing still. So you actually give up a lot when you try to kill elites on this character. I'm going to take the coil for sure. I talked about not wanting to have passed that, or regretting passing that, so that's actually a lot of damage. And then we're going to recycle the coral. Buy coil, recycle coral. And I'll take the goldfish. When this shows up in a box, it can often get you something pretty good. I could buy 45 range here. I don't think we need that. I'm just going to take the luck. Luck is both good and gives us more value off the pearls. And then let's buy hiking pole. Level 4 hiking pole, you can see you get even more range, and it scales at 20% of your range. Let's combine, buy another one, buy all these items, and then do a reroll. Night goggles, I guess that's crit chance, which we want, and range, which we want. We'll take the garden as well. Mammoth, it's still 10 damage, 10 base damage on each of our weapons, and it gives us 5% damage. Well, minus 3% damage, but the knockback helps counteract the percent damage loss. The regen is good, and at this point, losing speed is not that big a deal. And I guess I'll take metal as well. Ended up with positive crit chance. Of course, now that we've gotten to the late game with this weapon, this is a very powerful build. As I have said at the beginning, the reason that I think that hiking pole isn't great for the hiker is that the hiker's main challenge is the early game. Once you get to the late game, you've gotten enough free stats from playing this character that you're sort of okay. And you should have been able to find enough move speed to catch up on economy. But you need a weapon that helps you to get to that point, which is why I suggest Jousting Lance. But when you make it out of the early game with hiking pole, you do just get a lot of free stats, so it's a pretty strong option. Manually target down that loot alien to make sure we get it. I'll take the campfire here. Just more regen, I think, is more important than move speed. And when it shows up for free in a box, we'll take Cute Monkey. I'm going to take 6 dodge here. That takes us to 30 dodge, which is actually pretty good. And then Take the night goggles and the metal, I guess. Metal gives us move speed, but mammoth is probably better just to make sure we can clear the wave. Terrified onion we don't need going into the last wave because move speed is no longer that important in the boss fights. So I'm just going to buy these 2 defensive items when we go fight the bosses. Obviously, Night Goggles is great because it gives us range, which increases the base damage of our weapons, and crit chance, which also does help the hunting trophy. So I think the hunting trophy is going to end up paying for itself sort of by accident. Just barely, but even though I completely abandoned this poor hunting trophy, I think we're going to end up getting like 60 materials out of it, so it will have been worth taking. Only very, very slimly, but it's certainly possible that this will end up being a profitable item. Obviously, you just need to keep moving all the time when you're playing this character, and we'll try to pick up as many materials as we can before the end of the wave, because anything we don't pick up is lost. The medical turret, yeah, I'll take this. We won't be able to stay near it easily, but it could potentially help heal us. Scared Sausage, I think this is probably worth more than the 20 materials, and Clockwork Wasp is good. Peaceful Bee, definitely want increased dodge, and then I'm going to reroll this, because I think we can do better. My armor's quite low. Let me reroll again, because I still think we can do better, and I'll take 3 regen. And you can see, I didn't invest in HP basically at all, and we still ended up with 71, so that's why I think you don't really need to spend money on HP on this character. I guess 8 melee damage is fine. The level 4 hiking pole is kind of tempting as well, but I think we can do better than either of these things. And fried rice actually gives us a lot of regeneration because we have an incendiary turret and double scared sausage. So this actually synergizes quite well with what we're doing. So we're going to pick that up, and that will be worth a lot of healing. And then I'm just going to do a couple rerolls for fun. Oh, the tree and the night goggles would both be really nice. I'm going to see if we can kill the elites, or the bosses. I don't think we're likely to, but we're going to give it a try. We have enough regeneration that even if I get in trouble, I can probably just back off. And of course, wisdom is better in these boss fights than it is in the other waves because it has 30 more seconds to increase your damage. So I'm just continuing to try to chip away at the bosses. We don't really get to choose which one we're attacking on this character because my move speed's so high, it's kind of hard to focus a specific boss, and I really don't want to stop moving. Obviously, we don't need to trigger the passive anymore, but if we stop moving on the hiker, then if I stop moving when I'm trying to dodge here, then I can end up in trouble. When you have really fast move speed, holding still can make things a little bit harder. Sorry, I got distracted in the middle there because the dodging's actually getting a little complicated. When you have really fast move speed, holding still can make things a little bit harder sometimes because when you hold still and then start moving again, it can be a little harder to predict where you're going, just because of how the move speed interacts with starting and stopping again. Gonna try to manually target this thing down, but it can be really difficult to do that. I want to kill it before the end of the wave. Oh, I think it survived. Yeah, it did. Okay, well, it lived at 1 HP, but we still won the wave, so I'm gonna call that a nice clean win with the hiker. Obviously not the most difficult weapon for hiker. I think this is sort of the middle tier of hiker weapons, even though it's its thematic weapon. But a fun run for sure, and definitely one that I recommend. Taking a look at our items, we've got 350 materials saved on the coupon, 630 from bags, because we actually got a lot of crates. The scars came in handy this run, because we got to level 23, which is much higher level than hiker usually gets to. And that's part of why this run went so smoothly, is we got these really strong early economy items. The coffees were excellent. Double Peaceful Bee, of course, great. I was very happy with the Pocket Factory Lumberjack shirt incendiary turret stuff. The engineering sub-theme for this build worked out excellently. So that actually was very cool. The whistle, of course, was part of why we got so many crates, because we had more loot aliens. 9 bonus items from treasure maps, from 2 treasure maps. This item is just so insane. It just overperforms every time. 67 on the hunting trophy, so I would say it paid for itself, basically. We spent 30 on it and got 67 out of it, but that 67 came much later than the money we spent on it, so was correspondingly less valuable. Usually, as a rule of thumb, an economy item needs to roughly double what you spend on it to be worth buying, so hunting trophy was worth it, just barely. Yeah, all our turret damage was great. The scared sausages ended up working out because we got the fried rice, so a lot of enemies were on fire. Vigilante Ring, of course, was a lot of bonus damage and was really nice. Never got a free item for the pearls, but each of these was worth 4% damage. Not great, but I think worth speculating on. Dangerous Bunny did not pay for itself. Actually, I can't remember if I bought this or if it was in a box. Anything else that really jumps out at me? 33 healing on the medical turret and 13 on the cute monkey. Not bad considering how late we got those as well. So overall, just a nice clean win on the hiker, and we only have 1 character remaining. We'll be back with the romantic. As always, of course, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me with the algorithm. And you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time, and let's see if we can get the last win we need.